Are you currently working towards a financial goal? Well, hopefully your answer to that is yes, and it most likely is. But here's another question for you. How well are you actually performing against your goal? Now, this is where a net worth actually comes into play and allows you to understand where you are and how you're doing from a complete financial perspective. For those of you that have never heard of the term net worth is just the overall actual amount of assets that you have minus liabilities. And if these concepts are totally new to you, then make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because actually understanding your net worth can allow you to actually reach your financial goals faster, and most importantly, prevent you from making really bad financial decisions. If you're new to the channel, hello guys, my name is Jay Campbell. Here at Maximise Your Money, we talk about how to make, manage and multiply your money from a UK perspective. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and let's get right into it. So in terms of net worth, we've got to understand, of course, what an asset is and what a liability is. An asset is something that we pretty much outright own. For example, it could be cash in the bank, it could be investments in cryptocurrency, it could be a property that you own, and that would be, of course, like the value of the property or the value of your investments or the value of your shares and stocks, for example. So these are things that we own. An asset could also be something in terms of the ownership that we have. For example, a car, if we literally outright own that asset and it belongs to us. On the other hand, you can probably guess what a liability is. But a liability is something that, of course, is something that we owe to another person. So let's just say, for example, we have taken out a car and we've done that through a lease, or we basically have done that through credit. In that situation, then of course it's really, really key to note that that could be a liability, because now we actually owe money to somebody else that we're going to have to pay over the long term. So the amount of that money owed is what we would actually put down as a liability, and any other payments that you may have taken out via finance or credit, these would also typically be things that you would actually put down as liabilities. Now, just want to say here that a huge shout out to the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which is where I originally started actually tracking my net worth about 2 years ago because of this very concept. A big part of that book was just explaining that actually by tracking your net worth, you've got a much better understanding of actually where you are financially, and most importantly, what you actually measure, you can manage and ultimately improve. And I thought that was really key, because before I'd actually done this, you know, I would always know maybe how much money that I'd have, but not really the bigger picture. And it wasn't really clear where I've like documented everything and I can just see it at a moment's notice. So that is a really big point to mention. Of course, everything in this video is not financial advice. It's merely just my opinion from seeing and actually using net worth calculations over the past few years now in order to actually improve my overall finances. So actually, to give you an idea of why net worth is important, is that if you have an idea of what your net worth actually is, then let's say if you are working towards a financial goal, you have a accurate and realistic understanding of really where you sit financially. So maybe it's the fact that you are saving for a house, and if you are saving for a house, maybe you want to put down a deposit or you want to pay for it in full. How are you really going to know how well you're doing if you've got money over several accounts, and you've also got loads of different liabilities that you're not keeping on top of necessarily, and whether you thought you might have £50,000 saved up for a house, without doing your actual net worth updates, then maybe you realise that that number is like £5,000 because you've had a lot of liabilities that you weren't actually aware of, like car payments, etc. So these are things that is really key to kind of actually take into account. And I think a really, really big thing to understand about all of this is that actually some key ways that we're able to actually increase our net worth is that obviously by increasing our income, so we can add more into our assets. So for example, we can actually have more money, we can invest more. That's going to be hopefully positive when the value of those assets go up. On the other hand, if it was the case where we want to reduce our liabilities, that's a great way as well to actually increase our net worth. So, maybe we want to, get rid of like excessive like car payments, for example, or get rid of debt that we actually, have got. And the case of that is being in a situation where you have no debt and lots of assets is a really, really positive way to, of course, have a positive net worth. And I think for me personally, ever since I understood what the net worth actually was, I think it was great for me to be able to see my numbers. What I actually do personally is every single month I have a Excel spreadsheet where I will put together all of the different asset columns that I actually own. And then I will, of course, update the actual numbers for each of the different asset columns. And fortunate to be in a position where I don't have any debt. So, of course, that's a really good position. But I think actually understanding the net worth statement was something that allowed me to not get any severe debt or not put myself into debt and just be in a positive position. And actually, since doing this, because I'm looking at my numbers on a monthly basis, having an overall understanding of my financial picture, I've been able to see my net worth grow significantly over the last 2 years of doing this. I'm much more attuned to what my finances are actually, and this allows me to improve. Of course, if you're a business, for example, imagine being a business and not actually knowing the state of finances. I mean, that would be disastrous, right? Imagine what that would be like for a company. And I think that's what it is like for most people that don't actually track their net worth. They may be in a position where they have a vague idea of maybe how much money they have, but this is the thing, if it's not 100% accurate, then maybe you don't really know, and that could be hurting you. So I'd always encourage you, if possible, to actually update your net worth. Maybe you want to do it at the start or end of a month, something you can stay consistent with, and just, make it a game. If you've got a partner, you can definitely share this with them and work together to increase your net worth so that you're improving financially over time as well. So that is absolutely everything from me in this video. I hope you found that useful. Is it the first time that you've actually found out about net worth? And if it is, I'd love to know exactly what your thoughts on this are. And a big point here is that I'm really fortunate to not be a public limited company, because I would then have to disclose, of course, all of my financial statements. But because I'm a private individual, I don't have to disclose that. So please don't be commenting in the comment section asking me what my net worth is, because I can keep that private. And I think most people like to as well. But anyways, from that is everything I have for you guys. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more future content like this, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.